I, 26F, came across some disturbing content of my boyfriend, 27 male. Not sure what to do. Long story short, I've known my boyfriend for a few years. We dated for a while and broke up for 2 years, then got back together earlier this year. Well, I came across some disturbing videos of him on a podcast where he's interviewing women with other men. In these videos he and the other men speak to the women horribly, and there's a lot of just disgusting conversations with these girls about sex, sex work, running trains, etc. Honestly, I'm so appalled. He's never spoken like that around me and doesn't even cuss around me, nor has he ever in the years I've known him, but I'm just mortified. He treats me like an absolute princess. I just can't help feeling disgusted. He doesn't know that I came across this information, and I feel like I can't move forward without raising this to his attention. I don't know how to bring this up or if I should be judging him for something that happened outside of our relationship. This is a nightmare. I really want to marry him, and I'm just mortified that content like that exists of him on the internet. I'm also upset that he never told me and that I stumbled upon it. Even if the videos were outside your relationship, they whet something that he did that are pertinent to his true views on women. Tell him that you watched the videos and are disturbed by what you witnessed from him. You can either confront this now, or sweep in under the rug and have regrets later. You definitely need to talk with him about it. If this information can be found by searching the internet, you need to consider how that information might impact your future and that of your children. Once it's on the internet, it never goes away. He's waiting for marriage or a baby before he begins with you. That's what it is. How old are these podcasts? I would find a way to bring it up to him somehow, for sure. It's something you should be able to talk about if he's someone you really want to spend the rest of your life with, and if that is the case, you should definitely know if his opinions are still the same before you marry him. The problem is you'll be vigilant about this for the rest of your life. Seeds are planted and they'll grow every time something remotely questionable comes up. Can you move forward knowing this? If that's what he thinks of women, that's what he thinks of you. My M29 girlfriend, F30, went camping with some guys. Are my concerns valid? Hi everyone, I'm having some concerns and don't really know what to do. My girlfriend was going to go camping, no problem of course. However, she was going to share a small tent with someone I didn't know. I felt uncomfortable with this, so I shared my feelings with her. No problem, I trust her, but I did tell her I found it weird. I don't remember the word I used, and that it made me feel uncomfortable. She said it was Jan, fake names of course, a friend she described as being like a brother, and mentioned finding other people to join as well. She went camping the same night, and I didn't hear back until the following night around midnight because of poor signal. We called the next day. She went camping with Jan and another guy from her city, Pablo. They had fun, did activities like barbecue and campfire. In the evening, they discovered they could rent tents at the camping spot. Very nice, but she decided to rent a tent together with Pablo. This made me feel betrayed. On one side, I felt she doubled down. I had come to peace with her sharing a tent with Jan, and now it's with another guy. I don't think she cheated, but it felt like she completely put aside my feelings, which I had shared with her before. I also felt she had the opportunity to alleviate my worries and didn't, which makes me feel like an entitled asshole, to be honest. The next morning, she took shrooms and went for a walk with Pablo and Jan. Normally, I wouldn't have any issues with this, but now it feels like salt on the wound. I decided to not act immediately and give it some time. The next morning, everything was still bothering me, so I decided to calmly formulate. I failed. I might have been a bit rude. She said she didn't like my tone at some point, a text. Normally, I would say calling is better, but I needed some disconnection. We talked about it over text, but it didn't go well. I tried to explain why I felt hurt, and she apologized but didn't seem to fully understand my perspective. She offered to get her own tent next time but maintained that she didn't see an issue with sharing a tent with a friend. I'm feeling ignored and conflicted. Am I overreacting, or are my concerns valid? Should I give it more time, or do we need to have another discussion ASAP? Some friends say there are major red flags, but I feel like they're overreacting. Hard time making this short, but too long did not read. My girlfriend went camping and initially planned to share a tent with a guy the first didn't know. She assured me it was fine, but I felt uncomfortable. Once there,
She rented a tent with a different guy, Pablo, despite my feelings.
I felt she doubled down and don't know what to do.
Edit. Probably important info. She is at home on the other side of the world for family issues and the end of her previous job contract. Both aligned. Things might be worse because of the distance. She would come back here in 2 weeks.
I didn't have days of to join her. I would say that I have more liberal boundaries, but this is definitely not okay.
Also, she didn't tell you, in advance, for a reason. Then, she didn't like your tone when you raised a valid concern. The trust has now been broken, and so has the basis for this relationship. Booze, drugs, sharing a tent with 2 different people. What part about this isn't a disaster waiting to happen?
She broke your trust. She's pulling a Darvo on you by focusing on the fact your text tone was angry instead of the valid concerns, boundaries you had.
Nothing she says or does or shows will ever prove beyond doubt that she didn't fool around and cheated on you.
It's up to you if you want to stay in a relationship or not.
Either way, it'll probably end up a shitstorm. Break up and she'll call you insecure.
Stay with her and you'll always doubt her.
You lose either way. Just have to figure out what will hurt you less long term. Ask her, would she mind if you shared a hotel room with just a king-sized bed with your women friend?
Update me. Ha 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 ha, JFC.
Guys, my girlfriend went camping where she lied about what she was doing, shared a tent with another man, did drugs with him, and dismissed me when I talked to her about it. What the fuck? Tell her that you hope she had fun and that it was worth it, lose your number and never contact you again.
What is it with this absolutely sketchy and horrible behavior? What sane person thinks this is okay when they have a boyfriend? Good grief. If it seems fishy, it's because it is.
20F. Can't get my boyfriend, 20M, to finish. What can I do? As pretty much what the title says, I can't get my boyfriend to come.
We have been together since February, but haven't been sexual until now as I was very nervous given I was a virgin. He has had prior experience with past relationships. We tried multiple things, positions, anything we could think of. He said it was performance anxiety, which I can understand, but I just want some advice for this. I feel a bit less than and more so a bad girlfriend since I wasn't able to make him finish. We're long distance, so this all happened during the 10 days he was here to visit. The only time he came was when I was asleep next to him.
What can I do? I am going to visit him tomorrow, so I'm hoping any advice I can use on the trip, talk to him about. We are very communicative about anything around sex, but it seems like a hard conversation for him.
Was it really performing, say, anxiety or something wrong with me?
Edit. Quite a few questions, so I'm just adding these to the post. No, we did not use condoms as I'm on birth control. Neither of us looks at porn, and I don't think he has a death grip. There's nothing wrong with you. There's likely nothing wrong with him. It's probably just nerves.
He probably wanted to be perfect for you and it got in his head.
Every guy has this happen. It can be embarrassing and it can snowball. Nerves about last time make this time more difficult.
Just relax, let him know you're happy. It'll be okay.
Relax, let things be. Above all, enjoy the time together and everything else will fall into place. Just relax. Sometimes, guys can't get it on simply because they like you too much.
I know it sounds like an excuse, but it for sure has something to do with performance anxiety.
He might feel a bit pressured since this is your first sexual relationship. Though it's not his, maybe he feels as if he has something to prove. Don't feel bad at all. Give it time and try a few more times.
The biggest advice you should take away from this is, communicate. Sit down and talk with him about how he feels regarding the situation, and if there's anything you could do for him that would help him get to where he needs to be. Pretty normal. He just needs to relax and get out of his own head. Maybe give each other a massage to really get relaxed. Sex is 10% physical, 90% mental. You guys are probably in each other's head. Just relax. The reason why he come in his sleep is because his relax. Talk about your fantasy and maybe try more foreplay. Real talk, I never come.
My boyfriend rarely comes.
9 out of 10 times, we fuck until one of us taps out.
The boyfriend before that was the same. That doesn't mean our sex is bad.
It's quite the opposite, really. Coming isn't the only goal of sex. As long as you are enjoying yourselves, everything's good. I 25M slept with a girl 26F last year who has a 1-month-old baby now. How do I respond? I, 25M, hooked up twice with a girl, 26F, from Tinder last August. I used protection both times. I realized I wasn't into her after she wouldn't take no for an answer one night when I was tired and didn't want to go out.
The next weekend I ended up messaging her that I wasn't feeling it and was looking for a serious relationship. To my surprise, she was really chill and said, "That's totally fine, I just got out of an engagement and am just looking for fun." Kinda forgot about her until she messaged me on Halloween night drunk and trying to meet me at the bar, which I declined. So that at least tells me she was still drinking and partying 2 months after I saw her. Fast forward to today, I saw on social media that she has a 1-month-old baby. I got curious and started investigating. I looked at my credit card statements and determined it was Labor Day weekend that I last saw her because I remembered the last bar we went to. This was 46 weeks ago and she has a 1-month-old baby, 5 weeks old now. Is there any need for me to be worried? I'd like to think that any rational person would contact the supposed father in this type of event when they find out they're pregnant. Because she was in a rough spot following an engagement, it might be likely that there were multiple men around the same time. Looking her up on Facebook, there's no indication of a father. The baby has her last name in her post. I recall one of the nights we were together, we didn't sleep together because she was on her period. I can't remember if that was the last time I saw her or the second to last time I saw her. I have a wonderful girlfriend 24F of 9 months now and I plan to talk to her to hear her voice of reason. How should I respond to a situation like this?
Too long did not read.
Slept twice with a girl 46 weeks ago and I saw on social media she had a 1-month-old baby and I'm worried, but should I be worried? What do you mean? How do I respond?
Nobody engaged you, there's nothing to respond to. Dude, she hasn't called you. Leave it alone. You used protection so the chances of it being yours are pretty slim. Lol, dude, do you really think you were the only one slinging your sticky muck inside her?
That's why she was so chill about it. That's what Tinder is for a lot of people.
And you were wearing protection. Unless she contacts you, I would safely assume it ain't you. You're not the main character here.
Yeah, definitely be worried. Why you worry?
Brush up on the human reproductive cycle and how long these things take. I'd say dealer's choice in how you want to handle it.
If it were me and I followed all the steps to have safe sex, I wouldn't reach out and just live life. The only concern that I would have if you do reach out would be getting baby trapped and then getting emotional and finically invested only to find out later it was yours. If you truly concerned and she thinks it's yours as well, you can get a paternity test to know for sure and go from there.
Don't go looking for things you don't want to know the answer to.